Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much, Sister Radia, for the invitation to speak as one of the guests for your Exceptional Woman webinar series. And as you noted, we are talking travel, everything about travel. Specifically, I want to talk to your audience about how to travel the world, live your purpose, and transform your life, which is essentially what travel has done for me. And as you asked me in the beginning, different questions about why I love to travel, when I started to travel, it was as a very young girl that I began to have this passion for travel because my parents sent me to go to a camp in Europe. So, I just want your audience to know a little bit about me. You read my bio. As you said, I'm Dr. Nicole Montero. I am a psychologist, a professor, and more importantly, I am the CEO and chief creator here at Zen Wanderlust Travel. And this is where our goal is to help you travel the world, find yourself, and live your purpose. Whatever it is that you want to do, we hope to help you to have travel improve your life and who you are trying to become. A little bit more about me is also I'm the author of a travel book called Global Insights, The Zen of Travel and Being in the World. This is my travel book. This is a compilation of essays. I call it like a memoir, a travel log, a combination of travel tips and travel inspirations to help you go about your travel journey, setting your travel goals, and establishing what it is that you want travel to do for you. And if you notice, as I continue my talk, so much of my understanding, my belief about travel is that you have to decide for yourself why you want to travel, what you want to get out of it, and then make plans to make that happen. So this is my book. And I want to talk everything related to what I call travel mindset. I want us to define our terms. What are we talking about? Even when we say travel, what is travel? What is purpose? What is transform? Why should we travel? And I also want to tell you about my Travel A to Z course, which I think will be helpful to many people in your audience to help them to become confident travelers, savvy travelers, and travelers who are comfortable going anywhere in the world. Also, I have a little challenge for your audience that will help them to start traveling in as little as 30 days from now. Let's define our terms. As I said, I'm a professor, so I always like to make sure people know exactly what I'm talking about. One of my favorite quotes about travel is that man cannot discover new oceans unless he has the courage to lose sight of the shore. And for me, that really gets to the definition of travel. Travel is about taking or making a journey, going somewhere, usually far away, usually abroad. And that's very different than just getting somewhere or going from point A to point B. I can just go to the corner store or go downstairs or go to the next room. But that's not really about a journey. A journey is about going from one place to a completely different place, and then along the way, in some ways, you're going to be changed. That journey is going to make a difference to you. So travel is really about a journey. And in some ways, if you look at it like that, you don't necessarily have to leave physically in order to travel. Many people say even when they read a book, it's as if they took a journey and they went to a different place. What is purpose? Purpose is really the reason for which something is done, created, or exists. And for many in this audience, we are Muslims, we're Muslim women, and this idea of purpose is very important to our existence. What is the purpose of our life? Why were we created? And that's a very spiritual and important concept for us. And so I also think that this is something that should be connected to how you travel and why you travel. What is your purpose for traveling? And transform. I implied and I even said that travel is something that can change you or transform you. Transform means to change completely, either the appearance or the character or the makeup of something or someone, and especially in a way that it is improved. So you're changing, you're evolving for the better. You're becoming something different that's improved and that's better. And for me, all of that ties together. Travel, taking a journey that has a purpose, will lead to you becoming better and improving yourself. And so that means, first and foremost, travel is something that's psychological. It starts in the mind. Being able to, as that quote said, lose sight of the shore and get out of your comfort zone, do something that you're not familiar with, that is part of the journey. And all of that starts in your mind. It's what I call the psychology of travel. So, as I said, travel is something that it can be connected to our purpose, and it can lead to transformation. And it is something that helps us to develop a broader perspective about the world. We understand things differently when we see people who are really, really different from us, who live a life that is different from ours, and who have a history and a culture that is very different than ours. It gives us a broad perspective on this broad world, this globe, this universe that has been created, that Allah has created for us. It also helps us to better understand ourselves. When you take a journey, when you connect that journey to your purpose and why you think you are here, what you're meant to do, that really helps you to better understand yourselves. It also helps you to become more comfortable in different environments. So you could go somewhere, as I mentioned when Sister Radia was interviewing me, you could go somewhere that's completely unfamiliar to you. But once you get over that fear, once you get over your apprehension, once you get over the things that made you uncomfortable, you will realize that the next time you go somewhere that's really different and that's really unfamiliar, you'll be a little bit more comfortable. You'll know what to expect. You'll understand that you might be scared at first, but soon that fear will go away. So it really does help you to be comfortable, not only the next time you travel, but even right here when you're at home. I can't tell you how many times I've had to do something like give a speech in front of a big group of people, or do a presentation, or try to pitch one of my ideas, a business idea, and I would be really scared or uncomfortable, and I would think back to all of the times that I traveled and I was in a different and new environment, and it really would help me to feel more comfortable knowing that I got through that so I can get through this unfamiliar setting. Also, it helps you to develop familiarity with diverse people and places. You can go and realize that you might read about something in a book, or you might see a TV show that talks about Morocco and Moroccan food and how they cook and eat together, and you eat from a tangine. But when you actually go to Morocco and you experience that, you become familiar with so many of the things you might be hearing about, or hear other people talking about, or read about in books, or see in magazines, or on TV shows. And that is a really big benefit of traveling. You become up close and personal with things that other people only see on TV, or hear about, or read in magazines. So why should you travel? Do you need more reasons besides some of the things that I've said? Well, besides traveling, life itself is a journey. And this is something that actually is part of Islam. If you think about it, life is a journey. It's about evolving, changing, and transforming. And there are several verses, there are several surahs and ayahs in the Holy Quran that talk or mention directly or indirectly travel. In the Holy Quran, Surah 29, Ayah 20, it says, travel through the land, this is a translation obviously, travel through the land and observe how He began creation. Then Allah will produce the final creation. Indeed, Allah over all things is competent. Traveling is a way to observe the beauty, the blessings and the creations of Allah that we marvel at, because you see so many different terrains, so many different geographies, so many different cultures and customs, and the way people look. It's really a miracle to observe it. Also in Surah 22, Ayah 49, Do they not travel through the earth so that their minds gain wisdom and their ears thus learn to hear? So in this way, we can think this translation is giving us an idea that travel really is about opening up your mind. Opening, it says, so their minds gain wisdom, and that you really can't hear or see or use any of your other senses without that wisdom. So this is a very spiritual motivation for us to travel and see the world. And one of my favorites, Surah 49, Ayah 13, O mankind, we created you from a single pair of a male and a female and made you into nations so that you may know each other, not that you may despise each other. Surely the noblest among you in the sight of Allah is the most God-fearing of you. God is all-knowing and all-aware. And so for me, this is really when we said one of the things that travel does is it exposes you to diverse people and cultures. And so this is part of Allah's creation, diversity, different kinds of people, different languages, different ways of living. And so these are examples that I have from a Muslim Islamic perspective, but there are many religions and different ways, spiritual practices that people have that really help them to see that traveling and seeing the world is really, it's not just something that's only for fun, but it actually is a part of, it can be a part of your religion and your spiritual practices. Also, one of the most famous and well-traveled, it's documented, one of the most well-traveled travelers and famous travelers is a Moroccan traveler named Ibn Battuta. And he has this famous quote that people may have heard before: traveling, it leaves you speechless, then turns you into a storyteller. When you're traveling, the things you see and experience will literally leave you just looking in amazement. But then later on, because you have been transformed, you've been changed, you have so much to say, so many stories to tell, and so many tales to share with other people. So any transformation that you undergo will be a journey from who you were to who you are becoming. And in order to do this, you must connect your journey to your purpose. That's why one of the things, if you ever hear any of my lectures, I always talk about the travel why. So one of the first steps that I tell people, even if they've traveled before, but they're looking to transform themselves to travel, connect travel to their purpose, is to clarify why you want to travel. Is it to take a pilgrimage? We just had the Hajj. People traveled literally, and that's something that's, embedded. One of the pillars of our religion of Islam is the pilgrimage. People have traveled for pilgrimage. Some people travel just to experience, as I said, the unfamiliar, get out of their comfort zone. Some people want to brag about it, and we can't judge. If you want to just get a bunch of passport stamps, some people simply feel like they need a vacation and they need to relax. Others want a big adventure. Some people literally just want to experience a different culture and learn a new language, hear and see what it's like to be on the other side of the world. Some people see it as a way to find themselves, that they, again, learn more about themselves, so they want to travel for personal growth. And these days, in the 21st century, we have a saying: if you're not global, you're not going to be the first one to get the job. Anytime an employer sees that you have international exposure or experience, they see you as someone who's more flexible, more adaptable, more able to withstand or adapt to different changes. So it really can be something, whether it's study abroad or any kind of volunteer or other work that you did abroad, that can help you to build your resume. The other thing I tell people, step number 2, after you know why you want to travel, is what I call cultivate the travel mindset. You have to become confident when you travel. It all starts in the mind. People may not understand. Your friends and your family, other Muslims, other people who practice your religion, they might say that this is not allowed, or they might have some reason for questioning. People might judge you to say, why are you spending money on that? You're crazy, you're nuts, you shouldn't be doing it. Other people may question why you're spending time on it, or even money, as I said. And you may actually doubt your journey. You may ask yourself, is this really something that I'm allowed to do, that I should be doing, that I should be spending precious time and resources doing? So in order to have the travel mindset, you have to be aware of these things that might make you doubt, and you have to help yourself to become more confident. And part of that is to make a commitment to travel. Even if you are not going to literally get on a plane between now and the next 12 months, making a commitment to travel says that when you have the time, the opportunity, the money, that is something that you will do. Some people say they don't want to travel. Some Muslims say that the only travel they want to do, the first priority for travel is to make Hajj. And then after that, they can explore other places that they want to go to. Whatever it is that you want to do, making a commitment to travel, even if you're not able to do it today or tomorrow or next week, making a commitment will make it easier for you to set travel goals, which is something that I talk about all of the time. So traveling more means a commitment to a travel lifestyle and global thinking. And I love this quote by Matthew Carson. He says, investment in travel is an investment in yourself. Any money you put to travel will contribute to you having a broader perspective, understanding yourself better, being more comfortable in different situations, and having more familiarity with different lifestyles, different cultures, and so forth. So there are different steps that I tell people, even if they're beginner travelers or if they are people who have traveled before, to make yourself a more confident, a more savvy traveler. It's important that you take some specific steps. And I always tell people that there are 3 things that you need to make any goal come to fruition, or for you to achieve any goal that you have. First, you have to have a goal. Secondly, you have to have a plan. And finally, you have to have a strategy. Those are the 3 parts that you need in order. If you have no goal, then you don't know where you're going. If you don't have a plan, you don't have a pathway to get there. And if you don't have a strategy, you don't have all of the little details in place to make it happen. So the steps you need to take to either start traveling or to travel more is to make a plan, a goal and a plan, create a budget, save for travel, learn to research the location or locations that you want to go to, and get yourself plugged into travel deals. There are many deals out there that have made travel less expensive. It's more accessible than ever. Yet, in some communities, in some circles, fewer people are traveling. So you need to get plugged into those travel deals. So these are the 5 steps. Make a plan, create a budget, save for travel, learn to research your locations, and get plugged into travel deals. And I'm just going to give you a little preview of some of the things we go into detail in my course. But one way to get plugged into those travel deals is to monitor flight prices and sign up for different alerts. Even if you don't have a trip planned, you start to become familiar with the different flight booking sites like Google Flights, Kayak. There's also an app that I use frequently called Hopper that helps you to monitor price flights. So even if you have your dream location, start monitoring those prices and sign up for alerts so you can see how the prices go up and down, what time of year they fluctuate, and so forth. You also, when it's time to travel, once you've started to figure out where you want to go, part of your plan is to travel and buy at the right time. Obviously, off-season travel is much cheaper than peak season travel, but there's certain drawbacks to that. Off-season could be when it's hurricane season or bad weather, so you have to research that. But also the time of the week and day that you travel. Weekday travel is often less expensive than weekend travel. And also when you purchase can make a difference. That's why it's important for you to monitor and look at when prices are going up and down. For a certain time in the travel industry, people said you should purchase your tickets on a Tuesday. That there's a certain time, Tuesday afternoon, that is the best time. Airlines give their lowest prices. So it depends. That's been changing. That's not a hard and fast rule, but you can, I have certainly got some great deals on Tuesdays, and that's part of you monitoring and looking at how prices change. Also, another website that I love, there are tons out there, but yapta.com, if you book through them and your price goes down for the ticket within a certain time period, you can get a refund for the difference in price. So I think that's a really great tool to have at your disposal. The other thing is, I always tell people you have got to get some travel, at least one travel credit card, and rack up on those rewards. Yes, we know credit cards are bad, that Americans use too many credit cards for frivolous things, but if you can use a credit card in a very strategic and disciplined way and get all of those miles, you can get yourself some free travel, free air travel. So these are some of the great, there are tons out there. There's the Bank of America Travel Rewards Card, the Chase Sapphire Prefer Red Card, the Barclays Travel Rewards Card. There's so many, and you can go to two sites, nerdwallet.com and moneycrashers.com, to compare different deals, to see which cards, which companies are giving the best deals at the time. Now, a note of caution, if you use this credit card, make sure you use it for purchases that you would have made anyway, so you can pay it off at the end of the month. What's the point of racking up all these travel miles if you're just then going to have to pay a lot of interest? So make sure you use it wisely and smartly, but if you do that, you can certainly get a lot of free miles for some airline tickets. All right, so those are a few of my tips. It goes from the mindset and understanding why you want to travel to some specific things that you can do to travel. And I want to give you a little more information about my course, Travel A to Z, where I actually go into much more extensive detail about these specific tips that will help you to travel better, become more confident, and actually save money while you travel, which I think is what most people want to do. So how can you take it to the next level, your travel to the next level, with the Zen Wanderlust Travel A to Z course? I'll let you know. So here's the link that will be available on the website that's connected to this webinar, and that's a link for a special offer just for those of you who have attended this webinar. So the course is Travel A to Z, Begin the Journey, Transform Your Life. And this is for anybody who ask yourself, are you looking to travel more? Whether that's starting to travel because you've never traveled before, or ramping it up and traveling more than you already do. So is that you? Does that sound like you? Do you want to travel bolder and better? Do you actually want to go to places that you were scared to go to before? Or do you want to be able to travel in style in a way that you didn't before? Did you think that you didn't, you don't know how to get upgrades, or you don't know how to get the deals that will have you traveling, either in an upgraded class or on a better airline? Okay, so if that's you, this is for you. Do you want to see your life transform through your travels? Do you want to experience some of those things that I talked about a little bit earlier? Broadening your perspective, exposure so that you can become comfortable in uncomfortable situations, being able to tackle your fears, being able to actually build your resume and hopefully, have more job opportunities, and even in some cases make more money, or be able to have better business connections, right? So do you want to see your life transform through travel? Sound like you? So the Travel A to Z course is an interactive online course designed to demystify travel and make you a confident traveler. It will give you tools you need to travel more, travel with ease, and become your best self through travel. This course was created to teach you what I call the art, science, and psychology of travel. It covers everything from the practical travel details to creating your personal travel mission. And I have my 3-step process that will guide you to become the savvy traveler you've always wanted to be. And this course, as I said, is online, is interactive. It's something that you can do at your own pace. You don't have to sit and log in and go to class anytime that, that the teacher, the instructor is there. This is something that's self-paced that you can do at your leisure. And we have 3 packages for this amazing class. This is an online class. You get access to all of the lectures. You get access to bonuses that I'll go over. And we have 3 different levels that you can start at. And I'll go over what each of those is. But first, I want to tell you what it is that you get with each of the packages. You get access to fun, informative lectures that you can access, as I said, at any time. You get to participate, and you're provided interactive travel planning, travel budgeting, and travel immersion activities that you can practice from day one. You get a copy of my book, Global Insights, The Zen of Travel and Being in the World, and it's completely free to you once you sign up for the course. You also get some bonus ebooks. So these are, all of the students get some bonus ebooks and travel guides, including my guide, 10 Amazing Travel Hacks to help you save money and transform your travel. I have my guide to expat life, what it's like to move to a new country and live there and become an expat. I also have my guide, 12 Steps to Claiming Your Greatness. These are all bonuses that you get on top of the book, on top of the interactive travel planning, and on top of the fun and interactive lectures that are really going to help you get excited and get the information you need to travel. You're also going to get access to a private Facebook group for additional group interaction and coaching. This is basically our own little Zen Wanderlust travel tribe. Everybody needs a squad, everybody needs a tribe, everybody needs a group. Even if you don't go actually and travel with them, but some group of people who understand why you want to travel, your purpose for travel, and that you can get tips and ideas from. Also, for one of the plans, the individualized plan, you actually get the individualized travel coaching from me. And so, as Sister Radia mentioned, I have traveled to more than 40 countries for different purposes: professional, school, personal. And I am able to offer those tips about traveling abroad or living abroad. So those are the things that you get. It's not just the lectures, it's the activities, it's the book, it's the free e-books and travel guides. It's the access to the private Facebook tribe of Zen Wanderlust travelers. And if you so choose, it's the individualized travel coaching. And what are these packages? So what is covered? There's so many topics. There's, almost 30 topics that are covered. And the starter package is starting with the basics. It's about the art, science, and psychology of travel, helping you to get tips on cultivating the travel mindset, learning how to tackle your travel fear, setting your travel goals and planning, how to get the best airfare, what are the tools that you get for using Google Flights, how you should budget and save for travel, different tools that you need that can have you having enough money for a plane ticket within 30 days, how to get the right accommodations, how to prepare to get your passport, finding out your travel personality, and also learning more about purposeful travel and living. That's all just in the starter package, right? That's just level 1. With the Starter Plus package, you get all of that. And then you also get more information about what I call making it happen, how to continue the journey, what you need to prepare for your visa, everything you need to know about travel, health, and safety, how to understand different culture, customs, and traditions when you travel, language learning tips, and get this, we actually have a short French language lesson and 2 other language lessons from West Africa, Wolof and Pular. You may not have heard of them, but just to get exposure to those languages, I think is really important, which is why I've put that in this course. You also get information about how to keep in touch when you're abroad, communication and transportation abroad, how to keep in touch and how to get around. Whether you should choose solo, group, or couples travel, when you should choose each of them, and what you need to plan for each of them. What you need to know to travel with kids. More and more people, women in particular, are traveling with their families and with their children. I'll help you to figure out what you need to do to have a smooth trip with your family. How to understand and prepare for culture shock, and also avoiding airline mishaps and airline woes. All of that is in the Starter Plus package. Now, when we get to the comprehensive package, you get all of that, everything I just mentioned in the starter package and the Starter Plus package. And then finally, part 3, taking the plunge, having the journey of a lifetime. You get information on how to actually immerse yourself in a new culture, how to socialize abroad, what you need to know about socializing abroad, what you need to know about exploring adventurous or off the beaten path travel, mindful travel tips, how to actually enjoy the moment and get rid of fear and actually enjoy your travel. It's what we call mindful travel. Travel journaling and photography, which more and more people are getting into. Also, positive psychology travel tips. Again, that's more about the mindset of travel and enjoying and having a good time no matter, or learning from your travel no matter what it is that happens on your journey. How to handle bad situations. So I call this sort of the downside of travel. More about expat life, what you need to know to prepare to live and work abroad, how you can get a job abroad, and how you can actually travel the world and live abroad. Maintaining a global lifestyle. So for many people, the journey is continuing. Once they travel and once they return, it becomes more about a global international lifestyle. So we'll go into more detail about that. And finally, dealing with reverse culture shock. So in the Starter Plus package, we talk about culture shock, what happens when you go to a completely new culture. But for many people, when they travel, they actually have reverse culture shock. They have culture shock coming back to their own country and their own culture. So that's part of it also. And then we have some bonus travel hacks for you. So those are the packages, and again, with all of the packages, you get all of this: the lectures, the travel planning, the free book, the bonus ebooks, access to the group, and if you are in the VIP plan, individualized travel coaching with me. And for those of you who were part of this Exceptional Woman webinar series, you are getting a special discount today. Actually, this is just for the next 2 days. This 50% off all packages. And this is a special link that's only for you all who have attended, because you are exceptional women, because you are looking to travel, to connect it to your purpose, and to transform your life. I'm giving you 50% off of all packages only for the next 48 hours. And for anyone who actually purchases right away, right after this webinar, you're going to get an autographed signed copy of my book, along with the 48%, the 50% off for the next 48 hours. And this will expire within 48 hours, so you have to act fast. This can even be purchased as a gift for someone else, the would-be traveler in your life, whether it's, someone graduating from high school, or it's an older person who's wanting to get into travel, who's afraid. This is a comprehensive course. Whichever level you choose, you will be able to get tools that you can start using tomorrow, and that you can actually start traveling to the next place you want to go to, hopefully within 30 days. So this is a special discount just for you exceptional women out there. 50% off of all packages for the next 48 hours. And anyone who purchases right after the webinar, you get an autographed copy of the book. So now I have my travel challenge for you all. I didn't want to leave you without having you to actually participate in this. And remember when we said in the beginning that so much of travel, so much of taking the journey and understanding your purpose is psychological. It begins in the mind. And so what I want you all to do with this challenge is practice believing in the power of your thoughts. What does that mean? Thoughts are very important. Like everything else in life, travel starts in your mind. So what you think, how you think, that sets the stage for how you feel and what you're going to do. If you're afraid to travel, or you say travel is something that's scary, you're going to get hurt, it's not helpful, it's too expensive, what do you think is going to happen? You're probably not going to travel. But if you turn that thought around and you say, you know what, travel is something that I've been wanting to do more of lately. Let me look at ways of finding a safe place to travel and saving money so that I can go. What are you likely to do? You're more likely to feel excited about travel and to actually make a plan to start traveling. So your challenge is to create what I call a travel narrative. You are going to list your top 3 travel whys. That is what's called creating your travel purpose. What are the top 3 reasons that you want to travel? We can't answer that for you. Only you can answer that for yourself. And then I want you to list a positive thought that supports each of those travel whys. If you want to travel more because you want to go on a pilgrimage, or you want to go on Hajj, for example, then what is a positive thought? A positive thought is that it will be so amazing for me to be able to fulfill this pillar of my religion. Okay, that's a positive thought that supports your travel why. If your other travel why is that you want to experience personal growth through travel, you want to understand yourself better, a positive thought could be something like, it is important for me to see different people and different lifestyles. It will help me to understand myself better. Seeing others helps me to see myself in a different light. Anything like that is a positive thought that motivates you to actually travel more. That's a positive thought for your travel why. So I want you to do that. We call this your travel narrative or your travel purpose, your top 3 travel whys, and a positive thought that supports each one of them.